the homeless veterans. God bless the homeless vets.
Great.
Excuse me?
You need to leave. Okay? There's no panel in there. I just told you you need to leave.
What's your name?
Right.
Lieutenant Fur?
Lieutenant Fur, yes.
God bless the homeless veterans. Okay.
You need to leave.
You need.
You want to go to jail?
Do you want to go to jail? Do you want to be sued?
I don't care about being sued.
Okay, here you go. Take the sign.
Yeah,
Get
but
my ID. Get my ID. There's my ID. You're not getting ID. You're not getting. I got my ID right here. This is my driver's license. This is my driver's license. You're not getting it until you get reasonable articulable suspicion of crimes. You better watch your step and proceed cautiously from this point forward.
There's no panhandling.
I don't give a damn about panhandling. You're not getting mine. What is your reasonable articulable suspicion of crimes?
Panhandling. Put your hands behind your back. Okay, I'm not gonna deal with you. Come on.
Yeah. What evidence do you have that I'm panhandling, stupid?
2 witnesses that you just asked people for money.
I didn't ask nobody for money, stupid.
I can deal with this. Not today.
God bless freedom of speech. God bless freedom of religion on public property. Can you use 2 handcuffs? My shoulders.
I don't have a second set right here right now. I will get you a set in just a minute.
I'm not panhandling. I'm just saying God bless the homeless veterans on public property.
All right, we've had 2 people.
God
say you
bless
asked
the
them for
homeless.
money.
Did you see me to ask for money? Did you hear me ask for money?
Have a seat, sir.
Okay.
Have a
Can you
seat.
grab my camera? That's recording.
Yep. Have a seat. All right. Are you on any probation or
I
parole?
don't consent to any searches. Can you go pick up my sign, please?
Just give me 1 second, Mr. Jeffrey.
Can you turn the camera so it's filming what's going on, please? You guys jump to these conclusions that I'm panhandling. It's the stupidest thing. And you're a lieutenant? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I go through it now, bro.
No investigation. Just straight the hands on. Run, get out of here. You can't be in downtown, anywhere downtown. Are you serious? God bless the homeless veterans, sir. God bless freedom of speech. God bless freedom of religion. God bless freedom of assembly on public property.
Can you run a Florida DL for me, please? It's me, golf.
As many of you may remember, back in January of 2022, I was unlawfully arrested and trespassed in the city of Alpharetta, Georgia, while peacefully engaged in the constitutionally protected activities of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly on a traditional public forum. The arresting officer was Lieutenant Eric Furr of the City of Alpharetta Police Department. Lieutenant Furr acted on his emotions and hearsay instead of conducting a proper investigation. Lieutenant Furr's lack of patience, resolve, and proper investigative steps resulted in multiple civil rights violations. It has recently come to my attention through my attorneys that Lieutenant Furr was suspended for 3 days without pay after an internal affairs investigation determined that Lieutenant Furr was in violation of department policy, the law, and the Constitution. Here are some of the details from that internal affairs investigation. The information provided to Lieutenant Furr from the 2 complainants described Mr. Gray as panhandling and making the female complainant feel uncomfortable. Neither complainant described Mr. Gray as possibly being under the influence. Therefore, Lieutenant Furr did not have legal basis to conduct a Tier 2 detainment of Mr. Gray. A Tier 1 consensual encounter was more appropriate. A consensual encounter could have given Lieutenant Furr the time to develop enough information to attain reasonable articulable suspicion, and I'm going to add this in, or determine that there was no reasonable articulable suspicion. Lieutenant Furr's first statement to Mr. Gray was, "You need to leave." Lieutenant Furr's interaction with Mr. Gray did not present patience, resolve, or proper investigative steps. Lieutenant Furr did not take investigative steps to corroborate the information provided to him by Mr. Merkel or the unknown female. Lieutenant Furr, immediately giving an order at the beginning of the interaction, exacerbated the situation and interrupted the opportunity for investigation or an amicable discussion. Mr. Gray is a self-admitted First Amendment auditor who purposely records his interaction with law enforcement. The department's PRIDE model of decision-making recommends the use of time to investigate situations where there is no immediate danger. There was no indication that Mr. Gray was an immediate danger or threat to anyone. Lieutenant Furr had the time to observe and watch Mr. Gray before encountering him. After Mr. Gray is detained, Lieutenant Furr enters his pocket to retrieve his driver's license. Terry v. Ohio allows for an officer to frisk a person who has been detained for weapons. The frisk must be non-intrusive and pockets cannot be entered unless an object which is consistent with a weapon is felt within the pocket. There was no legal justification to enter Mr. Gray's pocket that contained the driver's license. Current case law allows for citizens to record law enforcement if there is no obstruction or interference of the officer's ability to complete their task. Mr. Gray is heard in the GoPro video claiming the camera is his. After Lieutenant Furr turns the camera away from he and Mr. Gray asks that the camera be turned back toward them to continue recording the interaction. Instead, Lieutenant Furr chose to turn the camera off and put it into Mr. Gray's pocket. There is no apparent justification for Lieutenant Furr's manipulation of the camera. Lieutenant Furr said he was frustrated by Mr. Gray and his actions. After he manipulated the camera, Lieutenant Furr said he knew that he should not have manipulated the camera and should have allowed the camera to continue to record. After Mr. Gray was released from investigative detention, Lieutenant Furr informed him that he could not remain in the area. There is no legal justification for Lieutenant Furr to order Mr. Gray to leave the area at the end of their interaction. Lieutenant Furr felt that ordering Mr. Gray to leave the area was an effective way to de-escalate and defuse the situation. And this is my favorite part. Any violation of a constitutionally protected right is a serious offense. Lieutenant Furr's detainment of Mr. Gray may not survive a constitutional challenge. The search of and retrieving of Mr. Gray's license from his pocket, manipulation of Mr. Gray's GoPro camera, and ordering Mr. Gray to leave the downtown area are outside of departmental policy and the law. Lieutenant Furr's interactions with Mr. Gray was not acceptable. Lieutenant Furr's position and duties as a shift commander and instructor are critical positions within the organization. Lieutenant Furr's actions were based on assumptions made about a complaint made by two citizens and not bad intentions or malice. Corrective action. Taking all facts and circumstances into account, Lieutenant Eric Furr will be suspended without pay for 3 administrative days. Lieutenant Furr will provide on-duty and in-service training to the rest of the organization regarding the lessons he learned from this interaction.
Do you want to be sued?
I don't care about being sued.
Okay, can you go take the sound?
Yeah,
Do you want to be sued?